A final question here from Beth underscore Nick. Again, this is another one of those questions where maybe we have a little bit of answers already, but we're also going to continue to maybe answer it in a way where we can sort of share our views and opinions on the recent developments. Beth underscore Nick asked, which players do you think are going to go to California next year? Several teams have more allocated players than they can protect. I'm curious if you have any predictions. Well, we got our answers, right? The reality is that the trade window ahead of the expansion draft provided an opportunity for some teams to engage in dialogues and conversation and come up with deals ahead of the expansion draft. And we saw so many different moving parts from a number of teams between Angel City and San Diego Wave FC to try to trade for something, whether it was full roster protection or partial roster protection in some way, shape, or form. And we talked a lot, endlessly, really, I feel like, in terms of the deals that took place for California. But I think the angle that we're really interested in this one, Lisa, the one that we really, in hindsight, looking back at everything, appreciate more than anything else was this component that the California sides were very much interested in having conversations with potential talent that they were recruiting or trying to get acquired to their team, and their interest in being in California and playing in LA or playing in San Diego. And that was really kind of the angle I think that we were stuck on a little bit, and maybe some others, in terms of kind of reshaping what an expansion draft is, or what it looks like, or what it means to sort of build up a roster, right? I think
Mhm.
that is something, maybe the bigger takeaway more than anything else, more than any player that actually ended up going to either of these teams, that there was a little bit of a different angle that took place, and that there was a little bit more transparency.
I love the transparency. And we did speak with Angel City head coach Freya Kum at the end of 2021 about the expansion draft and about players that she wanted to bring to her club. And one of the biggest things that stuck out to me was the fact that she said, we asked players first, do you want to go here? Do you want to come to Los Angeles? Do you have any affinity to be here? And she did joke and say, well, it's Southern California. It's not like we're bringing you to an Arctic tundra or anywhere else. It's a desirable place to be. But she said that was our first question to them, because if they didn't want to be part of a trade that was potentially going to happen to send them somewhere else, we stopped conversations. We wanted to make sure that they were happy and they wanted to be in Los Angeles with her, with an expansion club that had and has so much potential and so much growth ahead of them. And to really build a team off of that foundation of, frankly, pure happiness and really what the players want. We just talked about protecting the players. Hey, this is part of it.
Yeah.
If they want to go somewhere or they don't want to go somewhere, that needs to be part of the conversation. And because they're having those open conversations, it looks like it's going to be a lot happier of a team than maybe some other clubs that we've seen. But the rosters that these California teams have put together are just fantastic. They've acquired really, really good top talent, and it's the negotiation tactics of head coaches and GMs to work with these other clubs and say, hey, let's trade for this. We'll give you a little bit of money. We'll give you a trade in like 2023, way down the road from now. But we want this player, and doing everything they can for Angel City to get Julie Ertz, who we talked about earlier in this episode. To get Sarah Gordon to say, we want these players as the foundation and to really build and shape our team around. And because of that, it could make for a really successful team and a really, really successful club with happy players, right? Like happy players, happy team, happy life.
Yeah, I agree. I really do think it's going to reshape the structure, or at least the mentality around what an expansion draft is, or how it's functioning and operated in. It's a much different perspective when you're maybe looking at an expansion draft in something like any male professional leagues, right, where there's like millions of dollars involved, and player salaries are much larger than their female counterparts, right? So I think the little things, like having those open conversations, being a little bit more transparent with the moves, and sort of engaging with players a little bit, is going to end up paying off huge dividends for the league and any future teams that come into the NWSL in the future.